all the leftist conferences and podcasts are not going to save you. I am fed up to my fucking gills with listening to leftists like Yanis Varoufakis, who I genuinely like. He's promoting his new book, Techno-Feudalism. Of course, he's written yet another fucking book about shit that you've already known from sourcing it from other people, getting information that you really don't honestly have to buy a book to get. But yet he needs to write. He's an academic. He needs to write. He's in that, what is that, DEIM conference, the European conference, yet another leftist conference with podcasters sitting on the dais while Giannis or whoever else, and I'm not blaming Giannis, he's a perfectly nice man. I think he was the Greek finance minister. He did some really great work about sovereignty and Greek debt and why Greece was in it because of the EU and the things that happened. But Giannis is one of these people, again, like all of these leftist podcasters now, TYT, many others, who are blaming the left for the left not getting what the left wants. That one of the things Giannis mentioned was that, in fact, we have our Green New Deal or whatever the Green New Plan was that didn't succeed in 2015 because, of course, it was supposed to succeed because he helped start it. So, of course, never underestimate ego and never underestimate one's self-importance when they're talking about movements that they were involved with or they started or whatever. He gives a list of why the left why the progressive movement in 2015 didn't take off. And one of the things is, and you can probably say it for me, is on the website, they let you pick your pronoun. And then he said, that's not the only reason. That's a good thing. But he mentioned it. This is what the left is doing now. The left is playing culture war bullshit games. Let me make something perfectly clear to any leftists out there who are not intersectionalists, into intersectionality. Or intersectionalists, and that's not the correct word, but it means if anyone is oppressed, everyone is oppressed. No one is free until everyone's free. You need gay people, you need trans people, you need black people, you need white people, you need people who use pronouns, who identify differently from their sex and their gender. They're gender fluid or they're somewhere on the spectrum. You need these people to organize. You need poor people and working class people and immigrants and migrants and anybody who needs government, who needs help, who needs democracy, who doesn't have $1 billion in the bank and doesn't have to worry about other people or ever feeling vulnerable. These people, it's not just economics. It also splashes over into the social part of it. It always has with every leftist movement. I don't give a fuck what Caleb Maupin says. Caleb Maupin supports a dictator in Russia. The Russian government uses people like Caleb Maupin and ironically people like Tim Pool, and they pretend as though Vladimir Putin is the same, like he's not a dictator, like he's in a democratically elected, he was democratically elected and the people are empowered in Russia. They aren't. This isn't the Bolshevik revolution. This isn't some kind of fantasy about communism. It is state-run capitalism. That is what they have. He said it. I mean, Putin has said it how many fucking times? So you continue to support somebody who has killed his political enemies, not just put them through lawfare, but murdered them. You continue to support this idea. Now, I'm against war on every level. Every war should be stopped. We should not be fighting with each other. We should be working together. We should not be worried about geostrategic positioning and markets and things of that nature. We should be working together. Totally agree. But not with dictators. You think they're going to work with you? You think they want to work with you? You think they're interested? What they're interested in is you bashing the American government. And by the way, the American government fucking sucks. America needs major change, but it ain't going to come from Caleb fucking Maupin. And it ain't going to come from Yanis Varoufakis. And it ain't going to come from Katie Halpert or Gray Zone or Scott Ritter or Danny Haifeng or any of these fake ass leftists online who are e-beggars now, who really don't care. And they also want to blame the left for the left not getting what the left wants. As if blaming the victim is the way to do anything in our society. You know what we need to stop? You know what we need to be like Hakeem Jeffries, right? Like the Democratic Party said. Hakeem Jeffries said he's mad at the little bit of protest that they did at that Trump speech in front of Congress. Hakeem Jeffries was mad about. The little tiny little things that make this left still. Hakeem Jeffries wants to leave that behind. He wants to abandon any social issues that Democrats have or the left has. He doesn't want those people to be part of the equation. He doesn't want to bring them up. He's playing into, this is a black guy, by the way. He's playing into the anti-woke, anti-DEI bullshit that has become the new N-word and has become the new oppression. Well, I can't say the N-word, so I can say woke and DEI. And people on the left should be rejecting the idea that the left moves away from this. They should be going more left. We have never tried that experience as organizing and as getting together and talking that we should be moving more left. You're always talking about moving to the center. All of these podcasters who blame DEI and woke politics for the left losing, I got news for you. The left has been dealing with voter suppression all throughout every swing state. Go check out Greg Palast. The left isn't getting what they want because of the apparatus of power. There is no history of the left in America, and the apparatus of power keep left populism completely off of the table. This is a right-wing country. Gore Vidal, America has one party with two right wings. That's why the left doesn't get what they want in this country. It's not because we're not right enough. It's not because we're using too much woke ideology or DEI or any of that shit. You know what? If you're going to let TYT scam you, let them. Keep donating, keep buying buy all of I love their little chyron at the bottom. Buy all of your protest and activist wear at our shop now. They're capitalists. Every relationship with you is parasocial and transactional. Katie Halpert is a rich kid from New York. She does not have your interest. If she could, she would still be writing for a fucking Rolling Stone. And don't give me their shit that they're good on Gaza. You fucking should be good on Gaza. You should be against a genocide. That should be your default position, is against genocide. Candace Owens is against genocide. Candace Owens is one of the worst people, one of the worst creatures that has ever inhabited podcasts. She's a relentless self-promoter. She's a bigot. Yes, black people can hate other black people. They can internalize the racism of America and then externalize it against their own people. It's done quite often. Chris Rock used to tell jokes about the most racist person in the world is an old black man. I mean, this is like racial intelligence 101. But because people on the left are tourists now, because you've become tourists, you've decided that you're going to listen to Chapo Trap House, and you're going to listen to Jimmy Dore, and you're going to listen to TYT, and you think you're hip and cool and shit, and you think you're not. You're a moron who's being used by people who only care about taking your money away from you. And I can prove this by the way they talk to you. They always e-beg you. They are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year doing nothing, talking about articles, sitting in front of a fucking laptop computer with minimal fucking overhead, telling you, because they're smarter than you, because they went to a college that you could never get into or afford as a working class person. And you as a working class person are being used by people who claim to care about you, the working class person. I hope you like and subscribe, donate, Patreon, like and subscribe, Patreon. I hope you like what you're doing. We can't do this unless you donate, like and subscribe. I need Useful Idiots. Have you ever watched an episode of Useful Idiots? If you don't walk away from that wanting to throw Katie Halpert into the fucking river, then you're not fucking paying attention. And I don't mean that literally. I mean that figuratively. I don't mean violence towards her. I don't mean violence towards anybody. But this idea that the left is it's the fault of the left, that the left isn't getting what it wants, that somehow the left now has to figure out a new approach. So let's just leave. It's what Cornel West said when that bastard Jimmy Dore did what he did to Cornel West. Cornel West actually has skin in the game. Cornel West actually is a black man who is part of the social and political revolution of the 70s and 80s, 60s, late 60s, 80s, 90s. The man has gone out and protested when's the last time Jimmy Dore went to an Amazon protest? When's the last time Jimmy Dore got off his ass in LA and did anything other than for Jimmy Dore? And now Jimmy Dore's moving to the right because of that MAGA money, because all of that MAGA money. So now it's, don't talk, when his interview with Cornel West, why do you got to talk about DEI? Why do you got to talk about trans rights? Why do you got to talk about racism? Why do you got to talk about, you can't possibly we have to just make it economics. It can only be economics. That's never been any revolution in American history or any history really at all. The women's suffrage movement didn't just become because of economics, because men identified with women and human beings. The end of slavery, abolitionists didn't come because it was just economics. It was people of conscience saying, no, these are our brothers and sisters and we need to identify with them and we need to help them because they are the vulnerable and the marginalized. And guess what? When those people get power, when those people feel part of an organization and they start to organize and they start to you'll have them for life. And that's where we're going. Our society isn't getting less transgender. I got a news for you, folks. It's not getting less trans people. There's not going to be less gay people because of this. There's only going to be an increase of it. And if you think that you are such a smart motherfucking psychologist, psychiatrist / physician that you can tell adults, parents that, hey, you know what? Don't give hormone therapy to your children. I know they're suicidal, and I know they don't like their bodies, and they don't want to be in them, and they feel like they've identified as feminine, if they're masculine or masculine as feminine, since they were little kids, I know. But never mind that. I'm their parents. Let Russell Dobular from Do Dissidents get on his... Why does he give a fuck? Why do these leftist podcasters who should be praising transgendered rights, who should be encouraging more of this, encouraging that we talk about this, so concerned about children, but yet they never talk about the advertising that shows 19-year-olds in fucking bikinis selling burgers. Never, that's not a problem, but it's somehow a problem that you have a fucking book that describes a blowjob in a fucking middle school. Grow up. You are emotionally immature and you are not a critical thinker. The greatest groomers in the history of the planet Earth is the advertising community. Period. Television, for fuck's sake, watch a commercial on a cable network that is primarily for men, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to wrap this video up because I'm keeping these under 15 minutes, but don't let the left blame the left for not getting what the left wants. Blame the right, and stop trying to work with MAGA. They don't want to work with you. They are that grifter Jackson Hinkle and his MAGA communism. MAGA hate communists. They hate socialism. They hate anything that's on the left. They are not like you, and they don't want to work with you. And there are plenty of people out there to organize that are not political, and certainly are not MAGA, and are certainly not conservatives. You are never going to win those people over. You can, and you're doing exactly what Hakeem Jeffries said to do, except for you're just doing it in different words. Let's stop talking about the social issues and only keep it economic. The problem with that is that it's not just economic. It is never just economic. There are people that are oppressed because of the color of their fucking skin or their gender that they've chosen. Period. And you're seeing it now with the right. And unless you fight back on that, unless you organize in those principles, unless you get together in intersectionality and you realize that we're all part of this thing, I'm sorry. You want to try to organize your workplace and there are right-wingers there. You want to deal with them, great. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to go well for you. It won't. I've tried. I know. I'm surrounded by truck drivers and manual laborers, and none of them, unless they belong to a union, and even them, no, they're more concerned with their guns, they're more concerned with God, and they're more concerned somehow that transgenderism is taking America's youth and turning them all into ambiguous, walking around Marxists. They're stupids, and you keep trying to pander to them because they have money, because they're online, they're forever online. Get out of your bubble, start your own podcast, stop listening to these podcasters. If anyone ever attacks a transgender person or attacks on the left that attacks transgender people or gay people or woke or DEI, those are the people that you should not walk, that you should sprint away from, because all they want is your money. They want to separate you from your wallet. Remember, MAGA is dumb. MAGA buys little toy trains with Trump's name on it. MAGA buys red Make America Great Again hats from China. MAGA buys flags made in China from some grifter on the corner out of a van. They are and you are never going to convince them of anything. Stop pandering to them. Your movements didn't work in 2015, Giannis, because all you do is go around from conference to conference, collecting a paycheck and doing meaningless speeches instead of actually getting people organized all over the world in any significant way locally. It's not going to come nationally. It's not going to come over he's talking about what's wrong with Europe. Europe, the entire thing of Europe? Like, move on from these guys. They didn't really want change. They didn't really want anything. They were never really on your side. I don't know. Maybe they were. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm completely fucking wrong. I'm willing to accept that. I'm intellectually honest enough to think that maybe I'm wrong. But what I'm seeing is, I don't need Danny Haifong and Scott Ritter. I don't need people that don't even live in this country talking about America. It's fucking aggravating. It's annoying. And now they're blaming the left. Let's blame the left for not getting what the left wanted. What a joke.